Hello viewer, welcome to Chungu cha Jamii. I'm your host Eunice Mugo. Today on the show we are talking about rite of passage and you're asking, is it traditional health or your choice? What is it that you think or view as rite of passage? Send in your question, interact with us across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. I'm not alone. I have a guest with me who is going to take us through rite of passage in the traditional way and also in the choices that we do make. I will allow him to introduce himself. Welcome, guest.
Thank you. Hello, viewers. My name is Samuel Jenga. Samuel Jenga is an educationist. In the county of Nairobi, I've been in the leadership of the private schools. I'm an investor in the same area. I'm also a life coach. I work with an organization called Nobleman Ventures, where we build real men. And one of our areas of interest is the boy child. So we're so much concerned about the boy child and also men. We started the boy child when we realized that some of these men at times becomes difficult to train. Somebody said you can train old dogs new tricks, but we still see them try to get the new tricks. So we've not given up on them, but majorly we start the boy child from the teenage life, or going all the way to young adults, and then from there to marriage, and to working, and even to the old men now. So that is our main area of interest, where also we don't leave the girls and women outside, so that we bring the whole completion of the family. Our main organization is Family Matters Foundation, and in the Family Matters now we deal with the issues of the whole family. But my main department is Nobleman Ventures. That is where I am based.
Interesting. Nobleman Ventures. So today, as you're talking at circumcision as the rite of passage, I don't know if I would be rightly saying when you say, especially during this season, is where we experience a lot of circumcision as one of the rite of passage, especially that the boys go through. And for this reason, when you're talking about rite of passage in terms of traditional health and the times that you are in, because times have changed, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Now, when you're talking of circumcision, again, you touch my department, because in the path of building men and doing research, we realize a lot of challenge comes in during circumcision. We did a lot of research, and we came in to find that that's a time when the young boys try to get their identity. And in it, depending on how and where and who, and in the environment, it has caused a lot of challenge. And therefore, we also do the same. We have a program for circumcision, working in conjunction and collaboration with Aga Khan Hospital. I'll talk about that later. But what I'm saying that circumcision has the whole aspect of the tradition. It has the whole aspect of religious and also health. So it's mainly a tradition. Traditionally, circumcision was not seen just for health, but as a stage of maturity, a stage of growth, a stage of responsibility. That is why in the old tradition, sometimes, and even nowadays, you see some old boys in quote 18, 20, they were the ones getting circumcised then. And at times they were getting circumcised and getting prepared for war. They were becoming warriors. They were becoming responsible in their communities. And sometimes they are getting circumcised, then they are sent into the forest to be trained how to fight and how to become the warriors, how to take care of the wealth in terms of livestock of their communities, how they can fight for the charging communities, how they can take charge and take care of their mothers and their girls. So that traditionally was not just the issue of health, but the focus is a very important stage. That these men, young boys are becoming now men or young men. And at times some of them would just not take long after circumcision, they would get married. Because it's like now they were real men. So much of the counsel that was given in preparation of becoming men and becoming marriage people. But times have kept changing. Religiously, this we see it in Quran, we see it in the Bible, we see it in the Judaism. They all embrace circumcision. The Christian religion based it in the Bible, all the way from the promise of God and Abraham and all that. You know, it becomes a genealogical thing. It's religious. We see it based in Jesus. We see it in Judaism the same. We see it in Muslim. So it has been taken as a religious thing. Then we go to health. The health now, it is part of the modernization. That some communities don't embrace circumcision. So through research, what challenges are those who don't go through circumcision face that those who go through circumcision don't face? So now we bring in a health aspect. So the health aspect is part of the modern way of the circumcision. It wasn't there in the tradition, because if you look at how the circumcision was done traditionally, it was very unhealthy. In quotes.
Before we get to the unhealthy part, maybe, what is the perspective or the perception that is in the current generation, especially with the young parents, when it comes to circumcision?
Now, in the current generation, I think there's a little bit of confusion. The first confusion is, do we go for the cut or do we not go? Because my life, my choice.
Sure.
That is one. Number two, if I go traditionally, which community do I belong to? Because we are a mixture of all communities. My mother was from this community, my grandmother was from this community, my grandfather this community, and now my mother doesn't know where she belongs, then my father is this community, and then I don't know now which tradition do I follow, because probably my grandfather was a white man married to an African. And then maybe from there, my father was a Kamba and my mother is a Kikuyu. And now I'm here. Now, if you ask me, what tribe do I belong to? So I'm asking, do I go it through Kikuyu way, through Kamba way, through the European, through... So that is the current generation. They don't understand. So we must also start thinking, what, because we have to embrace circumcision, how do we modernize it? Because now we are talking of the modern families.
Exactly what you've just mentioned, allow me to interrupt you. As you're talking about the modernization, you've touched on a very important aspect when you're asking, should I follow my grandfather? Should I follow my parents?
Yes.
Now, as you're here to educate us, who am I supposed to follow? Because in my mind, I'm like, why should I even follow my grandfather? He's my grandfather to start with. And in some point or in some instances, you hear stories about your grandfather. At some point, you're very blessed if you get to interact with your grandfather, and you get even to know he was from the European, this is what they were doing. Because I'm assuming if it is my grandfather who is a European and my mother who is a Kenyan, high chances are we're either living in Kenya or they're living abroad. And if the parent now have decided maybe to start my life in Kenya or in another country in Malaysia, if you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
the confusion is there, literally. But
Yes.
also growing up in the African setup,
Okay.
we normally follow the father. But in this aspect now that you've brought in the grandfather, how is he coming into play?
Okay.
And what is his importance?
His importance. What I'm saying is, now that child may not fit in any tribal or community setup. Okay. But let's first of all do first things first.
Okay.
Is circumcision important? I start by saying it is very important on three aspects. One, it's the issue of health. It has been proven, research, science, that you don't prevent totally, but some STIs and other penal diseases are controlled by circumcision. They are not totally prevented, but some in one way or the other. It's a preventive method because through research it has shown that. Number two, for health and hygiene, because the foreskin, the way it was made, and this young boy is maturing up, the release of semen and all that, so the health part of it. And partly it's said, even if you look at some cancers, that the circumcised, the uncircumcised men get, at times it's not in the circumcised. So through some research, it's also part of health. You're able to clean your productive organ well and all that. Number three, it's also in many communities as a stage of growth. We have seen there are those who do it at childhood, but there are those who are still embracing, especially in African context, in some communities, that this young boy is changing from this stage to the other. So they are maturing. Majorly it's done during the teenage life. So it becomes a very important thing. Religiously, as I said, is still part of, we'll find it somewhere, but it's still part of religion. Most of the religion embrace circumcision. Now, let's come to why we brought in the grandfather. I said, basically is to see, as much as we respect the traditions, and every tradition was beautiful, all patri is beautiful, but we must also understand we are changing. The generations keep on changing. And where we are today, if we wholly bring this child to a community that take these children to a liver, to make sure that they are circumcised, very early in the morning in a liver, you use cow dung, you use mud. Basically, some of these modern children that we have, they will not understand. What are you doing? This is a torture. It's inhuman to do that. Using a knife, a traditional person, and all that. They may not understand. Taking them to a bush, all these things, sometimes somehow they are passed with time. So we must start understanding, because our forefathers did that sometimes because they did not have the proper medical advice. That we have injections that will make this person not to bleed too much, to avoid bleeding. But because why were they going to the liver or using the cow dung and the mud? Is to damp the body. When that body is damped, it will not be able to bleed much after the cut. But now, because we have the hospitals, we have medical doctors who are able to do it, we must agree to that. Number two, some of the, we have to keep changing. These children, we are not now preparing them to go to war. We are not preparing them to go to prevent our livestock and all that, because times have changed. So we must be able to know, again now, what kind of counsel do we bring in? And that is why the Nobleman Ventures is coming in with a lot of balancing. Because we must, in family matters, we talk and tell people that every human being is made of the Trinity. There is the soul, the spirit part of it, there is the soul, and there is the body. So we must be able to understand that there is a spiritual aspect, there is the intellectual aspect, and there is the physical aspect. So all three must be balanced. We must be able to know. Because of the times that you are living in, some of the traditional rite of passage behavior, in quotes, are past with time. And as much as you want to stick to it, some of these children would not understand. What are you doing? What are you talking about? Might you even let's even leave alone the rite of passage or the cut. Some of these children cannot even speak their native mother tongues. So you bring in somebody from Kikuyu to some of these children, and the person is just talking, the boys are lost. They don't get it, they don't understand what you're talking about. They may memorize a few verses, a few phrases, but at the end of the day, you are not getting each other. So, and that is the reality. Why am I saying that? These children, it's not, as much as we may blame the parents, not necessarily, because we start taking our children to daycare because we have to go to work, both the father and the mother. Daycare, that child is less than 2 years. So they grow from daycare. Nowadays, now I'm in education. We're taking our children to school as early as 3 years. So that child has learned that environment. In the schools, we have everyone from every community, from every tribe, from every nation, because some of these international schools, we have children from across even the borders. So that child basically starts understanding an environment that is global. And that is why our approach on this issue of circumcision is global. It is global, that this child must start understanding now the world has changed to become a global village. I am a global citizen.
Before we get to the global part, allow me to take you back to something that you've said. In the African setup, rite of passage was mainly done in terms of age, whereby you say there were old boys who are going through circumcision at the age of 18 to 20.
Yes.
Right? And then it evolved as time changes to around 15 thereabout. As you're joining, you're leaving class 8
yes.
to going to Form 1. Because 18, 20, you've already finished your even Form 4 if you're doing schooling. But you've also mentioned that once you've done that, you're also able to be ready for the responsibilities, go out for wars, take care of your family and everything, right? But now, we will have had instances where we hold on to culture and to the things that we've been brought up knowing subconsciously. So subconsciously, I know my son should be circumcised when he finishes class 8, going to Form 1, automatically, right? But yet again, the sense of responsibility, at what age does it knocks in before you can say, because we say rite of passage is also quote-unquote maturity, but at some point you'll even hear akiambiwa, in as much as he's circumcised,
yes.
he's still a child. And you're like, And then when you come back now to the traditional part, especially now when you mentioned about Kikuyu,
yes.
I believe also in other tribes, there is how you have to carry a circumcised man or a boy? Because once he's circumcised, he's changed from being a boy to a man. There's a way the society expects this boy to carry himself from that day going on. There is a way the society expects the parents, and then when you don't match up to that expectations, that's now when you start labeling you hujakoma. So what is the definition of this kukoma in terms of circumcision per se? But I want you to answer it when you come back after the break.
Thank you.
Viewers, I hope you're learning as much as I am about rite of passage in terms of circumcision, the traditional health, or your choice. Send in your question, interact with us across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 2144. We'll be back shortly.
AS and A levels is a qualification program that is advanced. That is after one has completed the high GCSE program, then they advise to continue for AS and A level. AS typically is a 1-year program, and A levels is done in the 2nd year after completing the AS level. And this one equips the student with the knowledge that is recommended for the university and also by employers outside the countries or within the country.
What is always before you but can't be seen?
Kudiscover talent.
Kudiscover. Ulijuangaje like unaweza imba, like yeah.
Kini Trace Jamii Kipchoge kwa ngoma na mfala wananidis na wanabonga kwa ngoma, mafanjo wananipenda ndo nazidi kwa roga, wenye walenjaribu manze walishachoka na nikozabe meditation naendelesha generation niliofanya
Wewe at 1 year old ulikuwa unafanya nini? You're feeling the vibe. Ulitoa a few days ago, unaweza taka utuambie like ulikuwa unafikiria nini when you came up with the lyrics? Yeah.
So I'm doing my thing. Don't try and stop me when I'm doing my thing. I'm tryna boss, let me do my thing. And if you're tryna win, you can be on my team. Yeah, so I'm doing my thing. Don't try and stop me when I'm doing my thing. I'm tryna boss, let me do my thing.
Do you feel like you're young at heart? I'm an old soul. If you could only listen to one singer or band for the rest of your life, who would you choose?
We're going to be discussing dream chasing versus stability. Dream chasing versus stability.
Okay, dream chasing nayo ni ngumu. Juu unaweza kuwa una chase impossible dreams. But yet unaweza kuwa una chase possible dreams. So wewe tu ngangana na dream yako, one day one time utafika hapo.
Ukifika certain stage in life, make decisions peke yako, ndio ukiregret usikuwa na mtu kublame. Just go for it. Ndio kikikuuma ni wewe imeuma.
Kuramba.
Na iki work out pia all the best, because si kila time utafail na si kila time utasucceed, but hauwezi jua kama hujajaribu.
Mimi nitakuja hapa nikudanganye, soft life. Wewe hujui hiyo soft life inatoka wapi? You guys just want to fly badala you take the stairs step by step. Obviously mtu ako pale juu alianzia somewhere. You can't tell me ati kama kuna alternative utafanya, si basi wewe fanya if that's what you want. Would you rather earn less doing what you love ama earn more doing what you hate?
Mimi hata sita kudanganya ati napenda kukufia nchi yangu just because of the money that is there. Si ati anapenda kukua KDF, but it's because of the money that is there.
Okay, men are not smart like women. I'm
Yeah,
going to say that
that's
for
true.
a fact.
Wongo.
Right now, that is true. If me and Rachel say to pay 1 million, tupe mwaka mmoja, hiyo million itakuwa hata maybe 10. But if a man unashikangwa tu na kiburi, sasa ndio unavaa
everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back, viewer, to Chungu cha Jamii. Just in case you're joining us, today we are talking about circumcision in the current times, and you're also asking, is it traditional health or your choice? Send in your question, interact with us across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. So before we went on a break, I had asked a question that I want you to take us through. Maybe I can repeat it for the sake of the viewer who just joined us. Circumcision in terms of aging, we had mentioned about the old boys, 18, 20 years, and the subconscious years that we normally have, class 8, it's around 13, 14 years thereabout. So we can say from 13 to 15 years, depending with the time the boy went to school, because in this time you're referring to a boy specifically.
Yeah.
And you'll at times hear, because of too much expectation from the society, from the parents and everyone around, there's a way you're expected to carry yourself and to present yourself once you've gone through circumcision, because you're told you're no longer a boy, now you are a man. Even understanding the concept of a man, I've not yet internalized that I'm a boy, just that I was born being a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah? But now too much is expected. Then you hear the maturity aspect of it, yeah, hajakoma. Ama, he's circumcised, yes.
Yes.
But bado ni kijana mdogo. Yani, in terms of maybe thinking, articulating everything that is happening around him is still not clicked in.
Okay. Now, we talked of the age. And one of it is, and I've said we must accept the changes that come. You know, except with the current, probably during Kibaki's leadership, is when the ministry came up with a formula that, or with a policy, no repetition of classes. We used to have boys who are repeating one class 2 years, 3 years. Even by the time they get to grade 7 or 8, they are old. Nowadays, children don't repeat any class. It's a policy. It's a government policy. So things have kept on changing. So that is one of the aspects. As much as some were in school, they were still getting circumcised when they were old. Because already they started school. You remember, you may remember or not remember, some used even to touch the ear, they had the other side. Now, maybe that would be a story to you. So, meaning they would be 7 years old, because by doing that, it's a 7-year-old child. Then you start repeating a class. Standard 1, you repeat. Standard 2, 3 years. Standard 4, again you go. So by the time they are completing even 7 or 8, some were old. That is one. Number 2, the change of familyhood. We know there are some rural areas, but much of the areas have been urbanized. Why do I bring in that? Because you would find a boy building a small house outside their main house, that they start becoming responsible. Today, in the modernized families in town, in the urban areas, the boys are getting circumcised, but still staying in the same house with their parents.
We are in town, we are not in the village.
So that's what I'm saying. Things have changed.
Sure.
So this boy that you used to don't go this room, don't touch this, don't go to the kitchen, don't, because you have become mature. Those things can't work today because they are staying in the same house. You tell this boy, now you are being circumcised, you should not go and wash dishes and all that. Then the mother is at work, coming very late. Nobody else, sometimes they are not able to afford the house help. So what are you telling this boy? The other thing we have discussed and is part of our program as Nobleman Ventures, on a serious note, we have so much expectation that is unrealistic. Most of these circumcision programs takes basically 8-10 days. There's no school you'll go and graduate in 10 days and be told you're a mature person. So we do bring more confusion than good. In that small period, this person is going through pain, is healing. Then we come with a lot of trainings, a lot of mentorship, a lot of this, that this is expected of you. Sometimes they are lost because of the pain, because it's a cut. It's like any other wood, is healing. Then we are telling them, now from now, you are a different person, you are a mature person, this is expected, the society is expecting you, the parent is expecting you, the school is expecting you. At the end of the day, the boy gets confused.
Allow me to interrupt you just there. When you say they're going through pain, allow me to understand this.
Yes.
Did they go through the cut before the mentorship program?
You know what has happened, and it used to happen even traditionally. It is that now you go through the cut, the circumcision. When you are cut now is when we come with everything. Now you are a mature person. And I tell parents, expectation of a cut and maturity is different. You go through the cut, then we must take you through the program of mentorship. We may tell you a few things during that period, but it may not be enough. But as we expect, because I took my child for a cut last week to a certain venue, now the following week he'll come here mature. And I have expectations. I have a list of expectations.
That's
And
an
I say-
achievement.
and one of our research showed us that is where the problem comes in. Because this boy is also going through change and growth. They start thinking, oh, maturity. What does the mature person, because they have their own version, mature person do? Oh, the mature person I know, the mature man smoke, the mature man drink. Because you are telling them you are mature, you are mature. Now I start to think, oh, mature men, they have wives, they have girlfriends, they have boyfriends. That is why now we lose them.
Would you say...
Because we just tell them you are mature, but they have their own interpretation of the maturity.
Would you say that also as parents and as a society, we play a bigger role in that concept of telling
Sure.
this child is mature? Reason as to why, growing up, you're being told you can't go out at night because you're not yet grown enough.
Yes. You are
Now
small
you're
boy.
being told you're grown
Mature.
enough. So does that mean I'm now entitled to coming in late? Does that mean all the entitlement? Because at times we deny our children some things courtesy of age. Wambia, when you figure at this age,
Yes.
you'll be entitled to all this, just to get rid of whatever questions or bargaining they want at that particular time. Then we forget that they are going to reach that age.
Yes.
When that age comes, do we now freely agree to what we said to them earlier on?
You see, maturity, psychologically, I'm a psychological counselor. Maybe I didn't mention that as we were beginning. Maturity is a process, and people mature differently at different ages. So we must differentiate the circumcision and maturity. These are two distinct things. There is the cut. Let's deal with the cut. That at what age? What are the reasons why you are taking that child at that level? Because there are those who do it at a young age. They still have their justification why they do it. There are those who do it at the age of 13. Basically, majority are doing it at that level. Then, from there, let's start thinking of taking our children now to mentorship program. And that is why now, when a parent is making a decision of where do I take my child for this program, one of the leading factors must be, what do I want with my child? What future do I want my child? Because traditionally, the way I've said, some of the things, and that's why Bowman Ventures came with a solution. Some of the things that the boys were taught, and those who taught them, especially, let me say, now those who are in the village, in the local, and you call those boys, they are the ones coming now to give the guidance and the counsel to this boy. They lead them now into alcoholism. They lead them into drug abuse. They lead them to sexual acts. They lead them to other antisocial behaviors. So that is where most of them, because they start thinking, now I'm mature, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that. But with a formal institutionalized organization, you'll be able to know who are the counselors, who are the people brought in that program. What are they going to do? And again, let's also change from thinking that this boy will become mature in the 8-10 days that they are in that program. It is a journey. And this journey must be combined by the parents. And basically, when talking of parents, we emphasize, as Nobleman Ventures, male parents. They must come in. And we don't deny the fact of the single parenting. We don't deny the fact of irresponsible men. We don't deny the fact of absent fathers. But at the end of the day, we are bringing in a man. And this man, we like it or not, we must bring a man figure in their lives.
On that note, you've said maturity will not kick in. It's a continuous process within the 8 to 10 days. And you said that it's very important to bring in a male aspect. I don't dispute. But what kind of male figures are we looking? Do we have what do you say? For, if I want to use this gadget, it comes with a manual for me to know how to navigate it. Does manhood come with a manual, quote unquote, so that by the end of the day, now I have a manuscript that says, this is the kind of man I should mold this young boy to be. And another question that comes in is, during these 8 to 10 days, when these boys come to the rite of passage center, maybe, or wherever they're meeting and they're interacting, you realize they're yearning for more. But yet again, whoever was brought in during this session is no longer present. It was brought in as a guest.
Yes.
Right? But now, even as a progressive program, this guest will not be there progressively. Then, this boy aligned to that man. Boy A aligned to man A. And now man B has been brought up as you are continuing. Don't you think this boy is going to be confused? Because what the man A installed or input was, or maybe how we related, because it also comes with chemistry and bond. We bonded, and this man B, we are not bond. Damu zimekatana. So where am I going to take my son? Then, as a single parent, as you answer that, when my boy comes back at home, he's like, Mom, you know that person told me A, B, C, D. I'm like, who's that person? I met him during that time. Now, every conversation, he'll be referring or relating to the program. That it's now not, I was not in the program. Now, as a parent, should I also start having connection with this so-called person so that I can be referring?
Now, several things that you have mentioned. Number one, it is called, and we, as Family Matters now, we tell the parents, it's very important for every parent to start understanding their children from a young age. what kind, because the word tells us that the child is a gift from God. What kind of a gift did God give you? And that is a topic of another day. That when you get that child, you must be able to know what kind of a gift did I get. We picked, allow me to get out of the topic and say, we picked even during the burial of Layla, the wife mentioned that every parent must be very careful, even the name you give your child. Why did I bring that? It's because the person must be, the parent has a responsibility, either single or both parents have a responsibility to bring their child up in the way. Who do you have? Who did God give you? You start understanding the uniqueness of every child that God gives you. That will lead you to know the kind of man that you bring in to counsel and guide your child, your son. Because you don't bring in any man. You must be able to know, who is this person am I bringing? So as a parent, you have a responsibility. You may not have the manual, but definitely you know this kind of a man. My child is headed in this direction. This is the gifting that this child. Therefore, the kind of man that I bring in is a person that will help him, other than just issues of life, but even molding their careers and their vision and their dreams. So as a parent, you have to know, especially when you have a single parent, you must seek it professionally, you must seek it from the family, you must seek it from the friends. Because as much as we may have men that are not meeting the standard, we still equally have men who have noble characters. Because as much as we would like to magnify and see so many men in drinking, many men in this and that, we still have those men. Therefore, every parent has a responsibility. And therefore, it's very important for you to get that. Number two, where are you taking your child for circumcision? It's important also. You start thinking, okay, it is time the season has come. Nobleman Ventures, they are doing it. XYZ are doing it. BCD are doing it. Okay, go do your own research as a parent. So that if this organization is doing it, do they have a continuation of the process? And I want to speak to our parent, because we have faced that that challenge, and I will speak it here. That some parents think, I've taken my child, has gone through the process, has been cut, I don't need more of the counseling to continue. And times you find the person standing in between there is a parent. But I want to encourage the parents. It is very important, because your child and your son will not become mature in a period of 8 to 10 days. They will not. And therefore, they need a continuation. And therefore, if you are in a very well-structured institution where your son is going for the cut, is going for the circumcision, then that organization has communication with the parent. The parents are able to give feedbacks on the counselors that came, that they brought in. They're able to have a continuation. Which ones are the sons connected with? Which ones do they want to be brought back, even in the future consecutive programs? And therefore, every organization, the parents must be able to know. It's like schools, where the parent is making a choice to take their child for schooling. Is a school that gives you feedback. It's a school that where the parent feels my son is safe, my son is given the right service. The same choice is the same choice for this program, because it's also very, very important, because some parents have lost their children during this period because they are told they are mature. And when somebody goes and tells them, now from here you are mature, you have nothing to do with your mother, you don't do this and don't do that, then at the end of the day, you start seeing a certain behavior that is coming into your child. Therefore, I want to encourage parents. This is equally a very important stage, because it's a stage where the boy or both sides, the girl and the boy, at that stage of the teenage, they are getting to know their identity. And in that stage is a stage of confusion because they are trying this, is a trial and error stage. And therefore, they require a lot of guidance. Again, the parents have a responsibility, both mothers and fathers. Both single parent and all the parents, it's either single or both parents. You have a responsibility to have time with your child. Because the maturity we are talking about, partly will be instilled by the parents. And I tell parents here because you have a challenge. Much of these people and our sons at that stage, they learn from observation. They see what you do as a father. They see the kind of a character, because you are that father who is drunkard and abusive and toxic, and you just want your child to be taught by an angel and become that angel that you have in mind. We have a challenge that the parent must be able to know that our children are also learning from what they see. Some of the single parents to say, because we are in this program of Chungu Jamii, we have to talk. Your sons are looking at what you're doing as a mother. And therefore, you not expect an angel who comes, or your son to become an angel, and they observe and they see. And that is a very critical stage. They observe a lot. And they learn from what they see, as much as you tell them. Because most of the times we rely on what we tell them, but they also rely on what they see.
I want us to take a break because I'm being told of time. Huh? I want us to take a break, and when you come back, we can pick it up from there. And also, from where I'm seated, rite of passage, apart from circumcision in itself, as an act, the cut, we also have a rite of passage for girls. What is in it for the girl child as well?
Thank you.
I hope you're learning as much as I am. Send in your question, interact with us across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. We'll be back shortly.
I'm your host, the most Shiguna.
SK the DJ Ava, aka the Mix Wizard.
Don't call me MC Slingshot. If the flag don't pick up, I'ma lose it. All I need is grass, meaning boozy. I ain't worried about Jada Juicy. Yeah. Boozy. Comparing me to these rappers, nigga kunitusi. Wale dani masa ni cheesy akiosha mbuzi.
Mbuzi in this reference inamaanisha nini? Oh, you're the god!
Ndio.
Tulikuwa tuna wasanii wa shule kila Friday unaitwa form 4 wakanilipia my first video.
Yeah.
Nikaingia shule nikagwa shukrani.
Ngoje shule yako ilikuwa
Yeah, ilinilipia kila kitu, audio, video.
Hello boys and girls, how are you today? Because I am very, very happy. So we are on Kids Mind on GBS TV.
Today we're going to make ta-da! A boba tea letter set.
We are moving to singing class.
Skinamarinky dinky ding, skinamarinky doo. I love you.
The tortoise and the hare. Friends, do you know about this story?
Now you're finished to make.
Enjoy yourselves, everybody.
Everywhere GBS.
Welcome back, viewer, to Chungu cha Jamii. Today we are talking about circumcision as a rite of passage in the modern days. And also we are asking, is it a healthy card or is it a choice? Send in your question, interact with us across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. So before we went on a break, you were taking us through, we were talking about the different ages and now the maturity and the expectation of the society. There's something that you're still pointing out. And I had said that when we come back, we're also looking at it. What is it in for the girl? Yes, please take us through.
Now, before I get to the girl, we talk of the boy child, and they tell them the circumcision and maturity the maturity doesn't come by the cut of the foreskin. It doesn't just come by the cut of the foreskin. There's a circumcision of the mind.
True.
There's a circumcision of the heart. There's a circumcision of the tongue. So all these are areas we take through these boys that they understand. It's not just a cut. That cut does not, if I don't change the way I think, the way I view things, that cut will just remain a cut. That is why you said, some people would say, oh, bado mtoto, hujakoma. Because the way they talk, the way they perceive things in their heart. That's why I talked of the spiritual aspect is also very key. Because God made us that way. The intellectual mind is also very important. The way you think, the way you act. And therefore, as you take your boy, because mostly these long holidays where most of the parents make that choices, I want to select very carefully, where are you taking your son? Then what kind of counsel they will take. As I wind up on that, I will say it's also a transitional stage. That this child is a teenage. You know now they are 13, 14, 15, because we're talking of grade 6, we're talking of grade 9. Those are the ones basically mostly that are going through the cut. There are those parents who would opt their sons to go through the cut after completing grade 6. There are those who would opt them to go through the cut after completing grade 9. There are those international schools still doing it at grade 10 or something like that. What I'm saying is, it's very, very important that that child does not just go through the cut, but let's also walk with them so that we produce. A doctor is produced because a teacher walks with them through several years, finally becomes a teacher. You are a journalist because a teacher walked with you. This mature boy that we want to see, a responsible boy, a responsible man, a man of nobility, a man of character, let's allow them to walk through this process with the right organization and institution. That is why the Nobleman Ventures is among the others that you can choose. But I said we can't just concentrate on the boy child, though it is majorly our main focus. Remember, we've done campaigns years and years about the girl child. We have empowered so much our girl, leaving behind the boy. And now we are realizing all these empowered girls, they are floating somewhere. There's a lot of frustration. Some want marriage partners. We don't have responsible boys, responsible young men to take them for marriage or to be responsible even in that marriage. And that is why we have come very strongly to doing the boy-child mentorship. But these girls are still transitioning because we can't leave behind, because we don't want to learn with boys. Again, we leave behind the girls. Today, It's not like those traditional days that girls used to be circumcised. That's uncouth, that is unaccepted. But basically, they are also going through changes in life, psychological, emotional, spiritual, and also physical. So the the girls are also taken through the same process, but differently, because these ones are going through the cut, and after the cut is when now they are taken through the maturity, through the counseling, through the guidance. The same case, because we would like these boys and these girls to grow in health. When you talk of health, it's both, is in health in physically, health in relationship, health in mentally, and also spiritually. So the girls have, we also have those girls program. The issue of self-awareness is created. They are able to understand who they are. They are also able to understand their physical body changes. Now, the menstruation have started, or they are starting, they start changing their emotions, their sexual attraction, the responsibility. So these girls are also, we have also very well up and very trained mentors who take them through that program. So that they start understanding. Now I'm not just the young girl I was. It was very touching to us when we saw so many candidates getting pregnant. And you can imagine some of the counties, I don't want to mention, bring them here, that were mentioned. One hospital, 19 girls of grade 6. And grade 6, we are talking of 12 years, 13 years. 19 of them gave birth one day. It is very saddening. Meaning we need a lot of mentorship to our young girls. That now, at this age, if you have sexual interaction with a boy or with a man, you are able to get pregnant. Therefore, we need to empower them. Sometimes they are taken advantage of because of the poverty level. They are seduced here and there. Sometimes it's carelessness, sometimes it's unprotected. Some are not protected in life by their parents or by the people they live with. So they are vulnerable. So what I'm saying, girls are also not left out as much as we are now empowering boys. I mentioned about boys because there is the aspect of circumcision. And I said this circumcision basically and purely is a health issue. As much as we talk of transition or maturity, it does not mean if you are not circumcised, you do not mature. It does not mean because you are, but there is the health aspect. There is the health aspect. The traditions will not disguise them totally. But what you are saying is, let us accept. Some of the things that you do, you may try to bring the traditional way, but it will not work in because these children are global. And therefore, parents, let's also not just soothe our ego, thinking that you have achieved because you took your child all the way to Bugoma, all the way to your rural area for a short period, and you think now because you saw them carrying the spear and the shield, you think that it's always, you are soothing your ego. But they did it without understanding. They did it because it was like a drama. They were acting. So what? But you need them to, the parent, to not just think of themselves and soothe their ego. Let's think, are we helping our children? Let us take them to a program that will be useful to the current world. That child will come out there thinking differently, seeing things and life differently. And then we also support the subsequent programs. We also take them through because it is very, very important. And I said, 10 days are not enough, 8 days are not enough. It is a process. By the time you tell this person is a mature person, let us know that we have created that. And it's not just by mentors, it is also by parent. And I want to give the parent, and I do it as an educationist. I tell parents, every parent is teacher number one. It is also very important for you to sit down with your child, with your son, after they go through the process of the training and mentorship. It's good to understand what were they taught. It's good, and especially that is why I said, so that they don't shy off to their mothers. It's also good to bring in the male figure, so that this boy can discuss. So that if you find anything that was brought in that is not part of the journey that you are walking with your son, you tell them, no, that is not the way. You correct it because you are teacher number one. The same way we tell the teachers, walk with your child even as you send them to school. Because some of the schools, some of the characters and behaviors, our children get them from school. But parents are very busy. Because I pay my tuition fee, I pay my transport, I pay this, I don't care. But it's very important for you to care. That is why I said, one of these days you come here and discuss about parenting. Because that is basically where there's a problem. When you are talking of the boy child, the main problem starts from the family.
Give us your parting shot, please.
Thank you. Viewers will talk a lot because it's a passion about boy child. I just talk from the heart because we have to be deliberate. We have to be deliberate. Parents, you have to be deliberate to raise your sons. You have to be hands-on, and also us as a society and as organization. As you make a choice, I would make a preference that you choose Nobleman Ventures. Let us work with your son. Our offices are in Westlands, Matodo Cross, Matodo Villas, office number 7. That is where our offices are. We have a program that has 3 cohorts. In November, this Thursday, we are starting our first cohort that goes for 10 days. Then we have the second cohort on 20th of November, again going for 10 days. And we have the third cohort that will start in 8th of December because of the international schools that close allowed 5th, 6th, and 7th. So we'll start our program because catering for those international schools on 8th, that is when we start. We work with Aga Khan University Hospital, and therefore we have very professional mentors. And we don't just go through the 10 days, we work with our children. And therefore I encourage you to have our office number. It's a very simple number, 0768 0768 200 000. It is a very simple number, that is 0768 200 000. It is, when you get the first numbers, it's all other zeros. Please get in touch with our office person, Dennis. He'll pick all your calls. You can get our website, Nobleman Ventures, www.noblemanventures. We'll also have our program tailed as Beyond the Cat, because we look at that boy beyond the cat. It's not just the cat, it is beyond. Let us work with your son. And therefore, I wish you all the best. The boy child need to be mentored, and we are there to work with them. Asante sana.
Thank you for honoring our invite and also be able to give us insightful information about circumcision as a rite of passage, and not only the cat, but also the process. Viewers, let's continue this conversation offline across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21114. Next time, have a nice time. Goodbye.
Everywhere, GBS.